Hello, I'm Kat.
And I'm Kaelin.
And this is
No Baddies Left Behind.
We're back. We're back from the dead. Well, really, it was because of me. Just as like a little update, if you guys did or did not know, I got surgery on May 2nd, and it was not ideal. There was a complication, so post-op, which is usually supposed to be like either the same day or up to 2 days, turned into 5 days. It was really scary. I was in the hospital for a long time. But thankfully, I want to say thank you to my friends. Kaelin was like the front row person. I was so mentally unwell, because of everything that was going wrong. And really, I was so scared of what basically, I was just pooping a whole bunch of TMI. It's a little disclaimer. I was pooping at a whole bunch of blood, and it wasn't even poop. It was just blood. And it was the scariest thing. And, it was frustrating because I wanted to go home to my kids and whatever, but Kaelin, I was just like, Kaelin, why is this happening to me? I waited so long for this and I put in so much work and this is happening. Are you serious? But thank you, Miss Girl. She was literally she's my rock when I was in the hospital. And also thank you to Kaelin and Miss SB Girl. Shout out to Miss SB Girl because they visited the day that I was post-op, which was not the best version of me, obviously, but
no, we walked into that room and we were like, oh, she was laying there, just arms at her side, no blanket on, just looked like she was staring at the ceiling, but her eyes were closed. And we were like, oh, she's sleeping.
Was I really?
We brought flowers and
that?
we brought her a whole bunch of stuff, and we were like, okay, we're gonna walk in real quiet. We're gonna go just sit in the chairs, and we made it past her all the way to the chairs, and she goes, oh, hey guys, and we're like, oh. You're awake. Okay.
Wait, why don't I remember that? I wonder if my eyes were just closed or if I was briefly sleeping. But then again, I was fresh off the anesthesia.
Yeah, I feel like you were lightly sleeping, or you weren't in a deep sleep. So I feel like you probably heard us walking in and it woke you up. But we were just oh, okay.
Damn, no blanket, no nothing. They just they just laid me there. No, but yeah, so it's been, dude, I think I literally just looked at it. Our last episode was uploaded April 29th. So it's been
almost a month.
Mm-hmm. And I feel we were just taking time off. It was a nice little break though, I will say, but Kaelin said before we started recording that we feel rusty, mm-hmm. And we do.
I feel like when we were in the routine of it just kind of became so natural. I feel like for anybody sitting here and talking to a camera and holding the mic, it's nerve-wracking, Mm-hmm. And even now, if you're watching the video, I have a new whole setup, so this is a little bit weird for me because my screen is over to the side, but then the camera's over here. So ignore that. If I keep looking this way.
Yeah, literally, you said sorry. I literally look, but my phone is my camera today. And I think it's the same for you, Kaelin. Our laptop is our monitor, basically.
Yeah.
So when I want to see Kaelin's reaction, I gotta look to the side a little bit,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, and we have a lot of updates, Queen. What do we want to update about? A lot has been happening, obviously. Well, mainly about, I don't want to say it. I don't want to bring it up, but
I know.
I don't. This past week, it was fun. It was eventful. But yeah. Also, I don't know if we want to shout out your friend, but I want to shout him out. I met Kaelin's friend, Mr. Christian. He's a fan fave between all of our friends, and he also listened to 2 of our episodes. And I was like, me and Kaelin always do this, where it's obviously we do this so people listen, and we don't care how many people listen. Obviously, it's just for everyone and anyone. But it's when we know someone listens and they tell us, it's oh, No, but then like, thank you. You know what I mean? Like your coworkers and that, like, even like my sister Kayla, she's like, oh, I listened to the podcast. I was like, oh, bitch, did you really? Like, oh,
No,
thank you.
it's one thing to put yourself out there and to sit down and record it and do it and know that it's out there. That's fine.
Yeah.
But when people want to come up and talk to me about it, I'm like, I feel
No,
weird.
no.
I'm a little like, this is awkward.
Being seen is like, it's the oddest thing. Like, I don't know, but obviously thank you to friends and family that take their time out of their day to listen to our episode. But yeah, do you want to do, like our pit and our peaks, because it's been 3 weeks?
Yeah.
So let's start with the pits.
Okay.
Obviously my dietary restrictions are on an all-time high, and also last night, again, TMI, Kaelin was literally on the phone with me. I was so constipated last night. Like, I was so constipated. Like, after getting the surgery, like, honestly, it is so the way you poop, the way you eat, the way that you take in your food is just literally never the same. And even my feeling of feeling full is not the same. So let alone digesting what I'm eating is really hard. And I started bleeding. And that was like the main reason of my complication in the hospital. So any kind of blood, I like freak out. It was definitely not my period. And I was like, I showed Kaelin. I was like, don't worry, girl. There ain't no poop on the tissue, but like, what's going on with me?
Yeah.
But like, Kaylin's really good about like being logical. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? But we're good. I'm okay. But that's definitely my pit. It's just the constipation, not pooping every day. That just disrupts my fucking routine, if I'm being honest. But yeah. What's your pit?
My pit, I got an oil change.
Oh.
And then now my car's leaking oil. So it's back in the shop. And I'm without a car. Unfortunately.
So do you think that it's really like leaking from multiple places?
They told me that it was leaking from 3 different places, but the marks on my driveway, it's not like drastic, so it doesn't really make sense for it to be leaking from 3 different places with the amount that's left over. But I also don't know a thing about cars, so I'm just trusting them and hoping that they're not just trying to play me, because I'm just a girl.
You're like try to get your money.
Yeah.
I'm just a girl that's trying to drive her fucking car.
Yeah,
Have you seen
literally.
that TikTok queen of like this, like these 2 guys are in their car and this girl's turning right at the light,
And he has no tire.
Yeah, she's straight up driving on her rim, and the guys are like, dude, pull over. You don't have a tire. You're not driving on a tire. And she's like, really? And then like you can hear like her turning away, and it sounds like a whole bunch of like, I kid you not, like soda cans just like going on the road.
I've done that. I'm guilty of that. I will be honest. I am guilty.
And the guy's like, she's straight up tripping. And I was like, oh, that's literally the funniest thing. It's like, we're just girls. We're just girls. And that girl probably did not know the last time she got an oil change either, because you know what? Same.
Yeah. You don't need one though.
And that all of us.
Kat has a Tessie. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
She does not have to worry about oil changes.
No, that's one of the best things, honestly, about having an EV. It's just less maintenance, but it obviously there are things that you have to compensate, like, you know, but like when things go wrong, it's like different than just pulling up somewhere anywhere. You know what I mean? But other than that, it's
like
nice.
We talked about that too. Like it kind of, the amount that you save from not having to go in and service your car and do the, you know, maintenance on it, I feel like balances out. If anything were to go wrong with your car, that money could just go towards that.
True. Thank you for that. Like, give me comfort. But I'm like, you know, obviously with change comes, you know, having to adapt. So with literally driving what is so new, it's like, of course there are things to adapt to. So don't fucking bitch and complain like, oh, I can put in gas in like 2 seconds and then drive off. I mean, obviously I do miss that, like just having to put in gas real quick and then just start driving versus, you know, having to like sit in charge for a little bit. But, you know, it is what it is.
But
But
even
yeah,
sitting to charge, it's kind of fun. Like we'll go with you and walk around the mall and just
yeah.
vibe, you know?
Or just watch movies in the car and just sing and do whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a whole vibe. It's a whole vibe. But peaks. What's your peak? What's your peak?
My peak is I am back in the dating game now.
Woo! Round of applause, round of applause, round of applause for this girl.
I have rejoined the apps and I went on my very first solo first date a couple days ago and it was a vibe. He was a vibe. I say overall on a scale of 1 to 10, it was an 8. Some things happened that I dinged him on, but overall it was a great first date dipping my toes back into the game.
Yeah. And what a great way to start. Like, and this guy, Kaelin would literally FaceTime me like every time like there was an update, which I was so excited to hear. But I've never, especially dating apps, queen, like he just gave updates. He was such a big communicator that it was like refreshing to just
Yeah.
hear, you know?
Yeah. No, even Kat said that he was Kaelin coded. And I feel
Yeah.
like that was the perfect way to put it because he really is, honestly.
Yeah. He like confirmed the date like 2 days before and he planned it out. Like he planned it out. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's refreshing. And because the last thing it's a big, oh, what do you want to do? Oh, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
It's like, just say it. Just say what we want to do. And he was like definitely the one to put his foot down. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
fun.
No, but it was
And we
fun.
all were so excited for her. Like all of our friends were like,
Yeah.
how was your date? Let's give you a rundown. We were like, okay, can you tell us again? Like she had to like say it twice.
Yeah. No, we went out that night after my date and we all did a toast. Cheers to my first date back in the game.
Dude,
It was a
Queen, when
vibe.
you edit this YouTube video, you should like put the picture of our cheers.
Oh yeah, I could do that. Okay, Kat. So what's your peak?
My peak. I think just kind of I feel okay again, even though it is a huge adjustment for me. I went out with like obviously Kaelin and Kaelin's friends and our friends, and we went to a bar. Well, I wouldn't say it's a bar. I feel like it's half bar, but not so much a club. It was just a big vibe. We were also in like, and we weren't drunk. We were just dancing and talking, and it was just like, it wasn't a rowdy crowd there either, which I could really respect. And just I went out for Mother's Day. I went to Chili's and I got soup, and it's just nice to kind of, because I'm not gonna lie, the healing process was kind of lonely. Like I had to extend my leave, and then no one's really around, and I can't really, even Kaelin, we went to the mall and she was like, I'm so sorry, Queen, but I'm so hungry. Like this poor girl did not want to eat in front of me. But I definitely don't want to be that gal that it's like, I did this surgery and this change that you guys need to change too. It's like not what it is. But just kind of getting used to life again and like socializing and going out, but like also incorporating what I can and cannot do. Like just as a little funny side story, me and Ari got food before we went to our friend's Josh's house. We went to this Mexican place and I was like, yes, can I get the half
Josh
size?
was telling me about this.
Josh was hating so hard. So Josh is our friend, obviously. I feel like we mention him all the time. But he was hating so fucking hard. But I'm like, what? I literally cannot eat meat and I cannot eat fries. Like,
No,
and so I was like,
he was like, I feel like you were the first person ever in
Yeah.
in the span of that person who was working there. You were the first person ever to ask for what you asked for.
yeah. And he was like, if I was her, I would have been like, is this a joke, bitch? Get out my drive-thru.
Yeah.
No, but I literally ordered, I pulled up and I was like, yeah, so can I please get a half size of carne asada fries? No carne, no fries. And this lady just like, she spoke and then she paused and then she just cut off. And I was like, she said, oh, no beans? I was like, no, with the beans, just no carne, no meat, no fries. And then I pulled up and then she was like explaining it to the chef. And I was like, all right, what? Come on, like no carne, no fries, everything else on there. And Ari opened it up. She's like, no, she got it right, girl. She got it right. And I was like, okay, period. But no, I think that's definitely my peak, is just seeing my friends again, my family, being around my kids, and, just kind of getting back into life again. And, because it is a huge change for me. And the last thing I want is to struggle getting back into being in like civilization, bitch. Like, it'd be rough out here. And then also, I want to say, I've lost a significant amount of weight, considering it's barely been 3 weeks, but we went to the bar, and I was just, even Kaelin saw me pick out this outfit. It was like a crop tee and like, oversized jeans. And like, if this were me like a couple of months ago, well, no, Kaelin knows this. I literally have not gone out in so long, even prior to my surgery. I don't even know the last time it was that I went out and, just was in there. And also, like, it's hard because drinking is such a thing for, everyone our age, and I can't drink, but luckily I just got a water and I took a picture with the drink. I didn't drink the drink. I just took a picture with the drink. So, yeah, but it's been fun. I love, like, being around my friends more, and that's my peak.
Period. And I just want
That was
to
a fun little update.
I just want to add that I am so proud of Kat, and she looks so good. And I feel like sometimes you don't give yourself as much grace as you deserve, especially throughout this whole situation, because it was, it's a big surgery, and it's such a drastic life change than what you were so used to before. But I just wanted to say that I'm so proud of you, and I'm so excited to see you enter this era of your life.
And also, guys, just stay tuned, because we are going to be talking about the topic soon, but like, Kaelin and I are both single right now, and she's mingling. She's been putting in work, and she's been mingling, but for me, I'm yet to be there. But when I am, me and Kaelin are going to have so much fun. I feel like we're going to make content about it, and just, you know what I mean? It's just girlhood, and I'm excited. But yeah.
The double dates. People aren't ready for that.
Oh my God. No, this is also me and Kaelin's like dream. And so I was like, dude, when you have a boyfriend, make sure he has a friend. So then that way we can date friends. So we're like in the same circle.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's get into our topic, Queen. Today we're talking about basically finding yourself is the key to a successful romantic relationship, right? Like finding you before finding romance, basically.
Yeah.
And I wrote down a couple of things. I think this topic for me, and I think for you, it's like pretty huge to talk about, because I think just like the fact that I think me and you have both been in relationships where I kind of feel like it's on kind of both ends, you know what I mean? Like, well, sometimes one end more than the other, but I kind of feel like, if one lacks loving themselves, takes a huge toll on a relationship. Like it really does, no matter what anybody wants to say. Like, and then really, if you date someone and you both are very secure, you're both very on page, it's like night and day. And really the core of it is, who are you at your core? Are you happy at your core? Are you secure? Are you, do you love yourself? You know what I mean? Like I said, it's just important to love yourself fully before you get into a relationship, in which we're going to go in on, because I can just go in on that shit, bitch. I really can. But yeah.
I agree. I think that you can't give somebody 100%. I think a relationship is 100. I know people always say 50-50, but I think it's more like 100. Or, maybe some days you can't give 100, so the other person kind of picks up the slack. But I feel like if you don't have like that self-love or that self-respect, you're gonna consistently be missing. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna consistently not be at 100 for you.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's the other person's job necessarily to fix that. I think that's something that you have to work on before you get into something else.
And I think that's so hard. Like that makes the relationship not a relationship. It makes it a chore. And I remember granted, I was really young, so I hate comparing the relationships I've been in because I feel like, well, no, I wasn't young in my last relationship, but I kind of feel like when you think you're with somebody and it's like, you make me happy. I feel like that is, we've talked about it a little briefly, where like your partner is not your happiness. I feel like that's a huge like, oh, my partner is everything. Like, okay, like that's nice for you. But I think that, you need to be happy on your own. And also, if you think about it, like if you are young listening to this, like if you are, our listeners are the older crowd. So if you are like, maybe this is your first breakup or, this is your first relationship, if you are so set in who you are and that like, I am confident in who I am, I love who I am, it also does make the breakup a little bit easier. Like if it doesn't work out, because it's like, I deserve, because when you're confident, naturally you have more standards. You have more, I forgot the word that I put in here, but you have more standards, you have more boundaries, and you naturally want more for yourself when you are more confident, and you're not willing to settle if you are confident. So if something doesn't work out, I feel like logically you're a little bit more open to being like, that didn't work out for me, but you know what? Eventually something will. Versus like, oh my God, like this person was my everything, is my everything. What will I do? And also, Queen, I want to shout out this song that has been on replay for me, and I've been loving it. Like it makes me feel like a main character. And it's Single Again by Big Sean. And that sneaky little man, I think that song was like, it came out in 2019, and him and Janae went on a break, but Janae was on the track, which was like, everyone was like, what the fuck? But I want to read off the lyrics, but basically it's like, if you love yourself so much and you lose your other half, you're never unbalanced. And that like hit me. I was like, whoa, like if you are really so confident in you and you lose what you think is a part of you, which I feel like obviously in relationships, it feels like it's a huge part of us. But if you are so set in you and you break up with a partner, you're not going to feel unbalanced. You're going to be like, that sucks. But like you are holding yourself at your core and you're standing up straight. You're 10 tones down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yes, also, and I feel like this single girl era is just, Queen, I'm loving it. I can't lie to you. Like, I just love it. I'm going to mention it later, but like, I don't like to say this because I feel like a lot of the time we all do want love. We do. And I think it's natural. It's human nature to want to be loved, to have love. But it's okay if you don't. I think that being single in our 20s is such girlhood type shit. Like it is the most fun thing. It's so like kiki whenever, like you're out and about and like someone hits on you, or you know what I mean? It just is like, oh, we're young again. You know what I mean? Even though like we're not that old, but it's like being single with your girlfriends, and also all of our friends. Well, I think only like one of us are like single, or yeah. Did I say that right? All of us are pretty much single.
Yeah.
And so it's just like a camaraderie. I swear. It's like, it's just so fun. Like
we're all in the same era of our lives.
We are. And that's what I was going to say. But like, I hate it when bitches are just like, I want a relationship. Like I want to be loved. And but like, I've heard it before where it just sounds like, oh, I wish I had a boyfriend. And I'm just like, babe, there's so much fun. Like, hold on, pause a second. Hold up, turn around. Being single is fun as fuck. You don't need to worry about anyone else but you. No one disappoints you because you're by yourself. Like, and really sometimes when you're in the wrong relationship, it'll weigh you down. You know what I mean? And it's like, it'll hold you back more than it pulls you forward. Yeah. And being single is just, it's fun, honestly. I mean, I'm a little biased because I haven't been in a relationship in quite some time. But yeah. And all of our friends right now, we're just like, let's go here. Let's have these parties. And they're always like, bring your kids, like it's just a whole bunch of fun being single.
Yeah.
But yeah, now we're going to be talking about more of like, tips and advice in being single. and also just finding yourself, because really only you can find yourself. No one else. Okay? So, yeah. Go ahead, Queen. You start off, Queen. You start off, Queen.
So self-love.
Go ahead, bitch. Don't pause. Just go. You're like, so self-love. Go ahead, girl. See that shit with confidence.
Okay.
Come on now.
Okay, so Kat did a really good intro into, finding yourself and having self-love. I think self-love is really important to gain and maintain before you get into something. I think when you really love and value yourself, you have more of an appreciation for things when you get into a relationship, because now that person is adding more value to your life. They're not your whole world, because you already have that strong foundation just within yourself. And I also think that when you love yourself, you create this sort of presence in your life, or this space in your life where you have a lot of self-respect, and where you're building boundaries that you won't budge on, that you won't break, that you won't just let people walk all over. And it all really stems from being confident in who you are, and being confident in your values, and valuing yourself and who you are as a person. But it's really hard to get there, I think. I know I've struggled with it a lot, and I'm sure you have too. It's easy to kind of sit back and be like, oh yeah, like I do love myself. But I feel like the way that you go about life is really telling on whether or not that's true. And I think more recently, I've come to the realization that previously I really didn't. I was insecure, and I really struggled with that. And I did let people walk all over my boundaries and walk all over me. And I was mistreated. And I think that is a fault of my own for not being more firm. And I think that does stem from not appreciating myself.
And I like that you brought that up. When you said gain to maintain, I was like, okay, girl. Okay, queen. You set that one up. But I think I mentioned it first, but in like the very beginning, but like really only you can find yourself. And I feel like I'm only going to say this once. Okay, you cannot and will not find yourself in someone else. And really that is it almost punishes the other person as well but it's hard, right? Because you think you may not know that you're doing it or not. But sometimes when you stay in a relationship, for example, when you think it's serving you more than it really is, when it's not serving you and you actually stay, you're not only doing yourself a disservice, you're doing that other person a disservice.
Now, I think it goes kind of hand in hand with, your self-love and finding yourself. I feel like if you haven't reached that level or done that work, your view of love and being in a relationship is still going to be very skewed. It's still going to be very negative. You're going to not have a very nice outlook on your future and and your future being in a relationship. You know what I mean? I think that goes along with doing that work to loving yourself first, especially if you went through a bad relationship before, whatever. But I did say that, that I believe there is somebody out there for everyone. But again, I think when you have that mindset of nobody out there is meant for you, you're never going to find anyone, it creates this negative energy. And I don't think people realize how much people actually pick up on that, how much people actually notice that. And they may not be able to specifically pinpoint, oh yeah, it's her energy that I'm not really vibing with, but it's noticeable. You know what I mean? It's like when you walk into a bar and you see a girl walk in and she's just exuding confidence, and you can tell that she just loves herself and she's so secure in who she is. it's palpable, and and the same goes for if you're the opposite of that. And I feel like if you're sitting back and thinking that you're never going to find your person, that's the energy you're giving off. That's what you're putting out there. And you don't have to be a big like manifester or believer in the universe or anything like that. I think, if you don't believe in those things, it's body language. It's the way that you carry yourself. It's the way that you speak about yourself. It's the way that you speak to others, about others. You know what I mean? It's very apparent in somebody who has that negative mindset.
Drop the mic right there. That was good. That was good. I was like, oh, that hit me right there, queen. That was really good. I really like that you said like how if you are so negative and you are not healed, like that's exactly how you view love. Really. Even though I've been through shit and it was very traumatizing and just not the vibe, and it was that really could have stopped me from loving anybody, from loving, well, really, like my next boyfriend I feel so bad that I did him like that, like, but I mean, we ended okay, and he's doing so well in life, but like really how you view, like you said, how you view love, or how you feel about yourself, and it goes into how you view love. And even though I've gone through shit, I still believe that there's someone out there for me. I still believe that my dream man is walking this earth. I don't know, where, but I think that he is there. But really, like before, I used to play around and be like, I mean, maybe my man does exist, but I don't think he lives in my lifetime. Like, I would say shit like that. Like, and it's just such a negative Nancy point of view. Like, no, I truly think that there is someone out there meant for you. And even though sometimes it's a person that you thought was your one and it wasn't, it's okay. Really. Like, I'm gonna just say, bitch, I thought the father of my kids was gonna be my one. Granted, I was young, really young, and then it used to kill me that he wasn't. It used to literally, like, I could have stopped it right there and just, I'm done with love. And there are people who are like that. There are people who are so bitter into their 40s and they're still praying on their downfall for their baby daddy. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, like, that's just sickening, honestly. Like, but really, if you view love in a different way, and I even like how men, like, sometimes can be men, I still think that there are good men out there, even though I've not dealt with the best ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just think that truly it's how you view yourself is your perspective on life. That's it, period. And it's funny that you brought up confidence, because that was my next bullet point, that confidence, it's an on and off struggle for all of us. I'm going to be completely honest, even though there are some days that we all feel good, we did our makeup good, we did our hair good, but we still just don't feel like it's it. Even if we planned it, we're going out, and it's, oh damn, I still don't feel confident. And then there are other days where like, oh, I feel like I'm walking on water, bitch.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Honestly, like, you have to give yourself time and grace into being the best version of you. And I just feel like confidence will fall into place when you allow yourself to love yourself.
Yeah.
And when you are confident, like I said, you have more standards, and you naturally just want more for yourself, and you're able to spot the bullshit. So don't let the negative B energy fog your glasses into thinking like that's how you view your life, because no, it's not.
Yeah.
And loving yourself is the best way to spend your time, and is the best way to live your life. Even when you are dating somebody, if you love yourself and you give yourself time, and you find, your hobbies, and you enjoy you time, because, well, that's really the most important. Even when you have a partner, always create time for yourself, because that's vital. But take yourself on dates. I saw a YouTuber who bought herself, because she was going through a breakup heavily, but she bought herself her favorite food, went to the beach, took herself to the beach, read a book by herself. And I remember you used to do that. And I was like, I should do that, and then that's what really inspired me to start. And also, Kaelin always inspires me to do like boss shit by myself. So I literally went to the beach by myself and I read a book by myself, but
I think there's something about just sitting in silence and being alone that just fills my soul. And I don't know what it is. And I mean, I feel like, I don't know if it's just because I'm a little bit more introverted. And so that's kind of where I find a little bit more comfort is in being alone. So I don't know how really that would work out if someone is more extroverted and they need that sort of communication and those relationships, to recharge their batteries. But for me, it just made me feel warm inside. Like physically, I just felt so good when I would do that. And if I started to feel down, I'd go to the beach and read a book. And it's so just like a reset. You know what I mean?
A reset, yeah, literally. And I will say, Queen, I am an extrovert, which is why I feel like people are like, Kaelin and Kat, they're besties? Yes. Yes. But I've noticed because I was so extroverted, I feel like it's a misconception, right? Where like you said, like because that's how I was before. I thought that I would need other people's company, but I've realized being extroverted is in the way that I interact with people. Versus now that I've gone older, I am so about like being in my boundaries and being like, I don't want to go out tonight, and I just want to stay in. I'm gonna take this night to stay in and just do something for myself, because like we talked about before, it recharges us. It resets you. Like it just, the battery needs to charge. And that's for if you're an extrovert or an introvert, you should always spend time by yourself. And it is an unhealthy habit to have to be around people all the time. And also it's like, that's just vampire energy shit. And by vampire energy, I mean it's when you just like want to suck out energy from other people. Let your energy come from within you. And there will be no blocks. There are nothing holding you back.
I think it's also very fulfilling too.
Yeah. To be like, I did that.
Yeah.
I did it on my own.
Yeah. So if any of you out there are struggling with what to do to take yourself out on a date or what to do if you're alone, I recommend something that I did was going out and starting new hobbies. So I've talked about it before. I started golf. I started surfing more. I started investing my time in things that I found joy in. And when I first started, I didn't know what I really enjoyed doing and what I really enjoyed doing alone. And it was all kind of just a trial and error. But if you're kind of in the same place and you're stuck too, I would recommend just try going for a walk, start off small. Go for a hike or a walk, just get things off your mind. Talk to yourself if that helps. Journal, you know what I mean? Or even just going to grab coffee. Go find a new coffee shop in your area that you've never been to before that looks like it's the vibes. Maybe take a picture. Maybe post it on Instagram. You know what I mean? Or go find a nice quiet cafe to read a book in if that's your vibe. If you like reading, you know what I mean? I think we hear so often, like, take yourself out. Treat yourself, you know what I mean? And I feel like when I first started doing that, I was so lost. I was like, I don't know what to do. And also I think there's that anxiety of doing it alone too, that scares a lot of people. But what I've come to realize, nobody pays attention to you. You are the side character in everybody else's story, whereas you're the main character in yours. So nobody is watching you. Nobody's paying attention to what you're doing. If you want to go walk out your front door and make a complete fool of yourself, nobody's going to care. You know what I mean? Go find things that really make you happy. Go do things and create a routine that make you feel fulfilled and that bring you purpose and that, change your mindset a little bit if you're kind of stuck in the funk of being in a relationship that's not working out, or if you're just in a breakup, or if the dating game's not working out for you. You know what I mean?
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Because now that you say that, I struggled. I was on that boat where I was like, how? I remember I was so depressed and like lost. And my boss was like, what do you enjoy? What are your hobbies? And I was like, I don't know. Like, you're almost like, what's a hobby again?
Yeah.
Like, really, it took time. Like, and trial and error is, again, comes with patience. Like, you're like, oh, this isn't working out. Maybe what you're trying to do is just not for you. Like you said, start off small. Because really, bitch, like, I couldn't even take myself on a walk because I would just be in my own head. Okay, go to Target. Don't spend too much money, but like, go to Target. Look at things you like. Shop. Before, I didn't really like reading. Now I love reading, and I'm able to really time out and let myself sit in silence and lose myself in a book. But like, I didn't like, reading books, but I liked buying books. I liked looking at books. And then eventually I started reading them. And, it's like, you just have to think like, do I think I might like? Then go give it a go. Like me and Kaelin golfs. I want to get into golfing. I mean, granted, I tried it at Top Golf and I definitely was not the best, but I'm willing to give it a go because, you're in the sun, you're getting vitamin D, you're out in the fresh air, and, I think it's always good to smell like sun a little bit, like to just because it shows that you're outside, so like give yourself time and trial and error. We're not going to, just because we think we're going to like something does not mean that we will, but you never know unless you try. And who cares if you feel embarrassed? And like you said, I'd always be like, oh my God, people are going to be thinking I'm like, oh, I can't eat in my car. I'm like eating alone. But no, bitch, I wanted to try this one place. So I'm going to go drive by myself and eat by myself. Yeah. Was I craving Japanese curry? I'm going to go eat some Japanese curry at Mitsuya by myself, bitch. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, but that takes confidence and courage. Like before I would really sit on my phone too and like be embarrassed if someone was watching me or like watch a movie, but then now I just literally will sit in front of a window and people watch while I'm eating, and it's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
So it's not easy, but it's definitely not hard to do for yourself because you're doing it for you. So
find comfortability in silence and in the presence of being alone.
Yes,
I feel like
and
that's
trust yourself.
Overall theme.
Yeah. And you have to trust yourself too, being alone. Because I know that if you're going through a breakup, you're like, oh, what is he doing? What is this person doing? Or if you were done dirty, it's like, oh, fuck that person. Like your mind and your thoughts are so loud. But once you allow yourself to be by yourself more, suddenly you'll find peace and silence in your own mind.
Yeah.
So learn to trust yourself within your own company, in your own solitude, and then you'll learn to love it. Shit, I love that. People are always like, oh, cat's so loud, cat's so da-da-da-da. But you know what? When I'm by myself, girl, I'm good. I'm like, maybe it's because my kids, they take up a lot of my energy. But yeah. What an episode though, Queen.
First episode back. This is a good one.
It's a long one. No, yeah, it is a good one. And it's a long one because you know what? And I was like, Kaelin, how long do we record for? But we have been out for a while. And I think this is a good way back. I think our energy was up there. We had a lot to share. And I think with what's to come, we have a lot more. And we have a lot of content, obviously, also, too. We slowed down on social media like Instagram and TikTok. But we're, like Kaelin said in the beginning, when you're in a groove, you're in a groove. It takes a while to get back into it. But I have no choice now. Okay, so we're going to get back into it. And so, yeah. But if you listen all the way through, you're a real one. You are a real one, and we love you.
We love you. And you can find us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, all under No Baddies Left Behind. Also, we do post a little bit extra content on TikTok that we haven't posted on Instagram. So if you ever want to see, any of those funny videos, you can find us on TikTok.
No Baddies Left Behind. Well, that's it for this episode. Thank you if you listen all the way through, and thank you to our friends and family who always support us. And for any of you guys that are like, maybe on YouTube or on a forum that we don't really like primarily, because I kind of feel like Spotify is like where we look for a lot of our listeners, but a lot of people are new that came from TikTok or YouTube. So thank you too if you've decided to give us a little bit of a listen. And also, I do want to give a little bit of a baddie shout out. I'm going to record myself again to Miss Natalie.
Yes.
Natalie, don't you, girl, we see you. We see you. We love you.
Yes.
Such girl energy. She gives girl, like, she's girlhood. Like, she is so girlhood coded. Yeah, literally. Like, and her podcast is it's Nap Time Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So please give her a listen. She's amazing. Her content is so cute and she is so present in what she does. So give her a listen. But yeah, thank you for listening to this episode of the week. We have more coming this week too. But yeah, stay tuned on all the socials like Kaelin said. And we'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.